Good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening to you, Professor Narisha. My name is Alexander Wong Junkit, and I'm going to be presenting about my assignment 3. This is the table of contents of the presentation, which consists of the following: the introduction and problem statement, data preparation, the EDA, model development and evaluation, bias assessment, and finally the conclusion. Firstly, a brief introduction to my topic. In recent times, there have been a rise in new and upcoming businesses for both brick and mortar stores and online platforms. Some existing businesses have made the move to operate both in person and via e-commerce in order to stay competitive and boost their sales, which in turn may steal customers from the market and hinder the growth of smaller businesses. This is why advertising is mandatory in this day and age for businesses in order to have an edge over their competitors and spread awareness about their business. The problem to be solved from this report is to understand the relationship between the different advertising channels and the sales gained from the advertising, and these are my research questions. Next, the data preparation process. In the data preparation process, any missing values are replaced with the mode and median for categorical and numerical values respectively. Outliers that stem beyond the boundaries are removed and columns that are converted into the appropriate data type. Column names are standardized to prevent any errors and increase reliability when calling them in the coding Python. New variables are also added to enhance the analysis, and numerical values created and existing ones from the variables will be rounded off for easier readability. Next, I'll be moving on to the EDA of the dataset. There have been some noteworthy points to be mindful about in the EDA. A box plot analysis of sales by influencer category was done to show no observations which can be considered as outliers beyond the whiskers for the influencer category. This indicates that all the sales values will fall within the interquartile range of all the influencer groups. A heat and scatter matrix were done in tandem in order to discover the positive correlations among the original numerical variables. The best interaction is sales with TV advertising, which show a strong positive correlation and indicates that TV is a robust predictor on sales of the business. Next, I'll be moving on to the model development and evaluation. Multiple linear regression and random forest were chosen to be performed to the relationship between the different advertising channels and the sales outcome. In summary, TV advertising was the most dominant contributor in sales compared to the other advertising channels. While both models exhibit strong interpretability, the random forest consistently outperforms the multiple linear regression in terms of predictive accuracy. This suggests that advertising effectiveness is influenced by non-linear interactive effects across the channels. Using the results from the data model, I can now answer my research questions. For research question number 1, TV advertising has the strongest impact with 99.4% on the random tree feature importance. For research question 2, the answer is yes. Although the impact varies by channel, the presence of positive effects indicate an increase in sales when multiple channels are used together rather than relying on a single channel. For research question number 3, the answer is the budget that should be invested in mostly TV with a bit of radio and social media advertising. This is the layout in order to maximize sales for businesses. Next is the bias assessment, where there were several points of bias that we have to consider. For the EDA, it displayed a higher representation for budget of TV advertising, which can skew the results in the TV's favor. There were also some omitted variables such as pricing and revenue, which may introduce the risk of omitted variable bias. And last but not least, we come to the conclusion. In conclusion, both multiple linear regression and random forest models display high explanatory and predictive performance, which shows the reliability in its evaluation. Influencer size did not pose as a huge factor for influencing the sales and has little to no impact when compared to the other advertising channels. The dataset can be improved by adding important variables such as the revenue and profit and include influencer numerical followers for a more accurate analysis. Thank you for listening.